maybe I wouldn't even have made guitars. I don't know. I wanted to become a guitar maker, but there was this American guy who told me I'm not good enough and I have to improve. And I thought I was pretty good already.
Yes, yes.
And so that was a very magic moment to get comments from somebody who has already beyond achieved what I wanted to achieve. You know? I didn't have clear thoughts where my company is going. I never thought that I would have 10 team members at some point. I just wanted to make a living of making guitars. When everybody in Germany said, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This week's episode of Life with Strings Attached was filmed on location in Montreux, Switzerland. Born and raised in Rodgau, Germany, Nik Huber is one of the most widely known and respected guitar makers working today. I believe his work exemplifies the refinement of the first and second major movements of the electric guitar. With almost 3 decades of experience, the team at Nik Huber Guitars produces around 350 instruments a year, and their guitars and basses can be seen on stages around the world with some of the biggest names in the business. It was important to me that I interview Nik in the early days of this podcast, because the career I have today, it might look very different had I not met Nik Huber at a NAMM show 20 plus years ago. So this interview may be a little more like dinner with 2 old friends, because it is. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with Nik. I hope you enjoy it too.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Are we good? Oh.
Where are we? What language is this?
You're German. Français?
Salute.
Kampai.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yes. Get it more?
Yeah. So, this is our first time eating sushi in Geneva.
Montreux.
That's Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva.
You're right. We're in Montreux.
Could be different sushi place.
No, this was good.
Not mentioning, restaurant was great, but we had sushi in Montreal, we had sushi in Nashville,
Berlin,
LA, Nashville, yeah.
Montreal. Yeah, that's why I chose a sushi restaurant for you. It's your thing, right?
Very good decision.
It's one of my favorite things about what we do is we all love to travel and meeting people and being in different places. I mean, that's a huge motivation for why we do guitar shows. Let's be honest. A lot of guitar makers
if you would have told me in 2002 when I did the first NAMM show where we met the first time,
yes,
that we would travel the world because of guitars.
Yeah.
I mean, we were already in LA, yes, but
we were a Canadian and a German in America. We were already traveling, but it was new for both of us.
Got to a different place.
Yeah,
got to different qualities.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
You know, I've been looking forward to doing this interview with you because my journey has a lot to do with you.
So does mine with you?
Yeah. I mean, I had a retail store that I wasn't expecting to have. And I couldn't get the lines I needed to inventory my store because there was so much competition in Toronto. So I went looking for stuff that no one had. And that's when I found you in the German section, German Pavilion, was it? Is that what they called it? Or
it was this cooperation booth with some other brands, yeah.
Yeah, but it was all part of the German government.
It was not a German booth, but a cooperation booth with Marlowe, with Pagelli, myself, Engel Amps, but it was done by Jacques Isla back in the days.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because it's 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while, a couple decades. It's true, we're in our 3rd decade of doing this. Yeah. So, I mean, well, we talk about Pagelli. I mean, we just saw him this afternoon and he was saying 45 years.
And I told Claudia today that 3 more years and we know each other since 30 years. I met Claudia in 97 in Zurich.
97.
trade show in Zurich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
So
We all got wiser.
yes. So
Or whiter.
yeah. But it's been a good thing. You know, when I interview people for biographies, which I don't tend to do on the podcast, but I've been doing it for the Boutique Guitar Showcase, getting them to tell their stories. I ask people to tell me their story with those, including the moments that if you remove that moment, that it would be a different person.
Yeah.
Right? And we all have those moments in our lives which define us.
Absolutely.
Right? And my meeting you and playing your Dolphin 2,
Very first
think.
ones.
Was it really?
Maybe the first one.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Was a defining moment for me because this was the first, what I would now call unique world-class guitar that I experienced. I said, oh, there's something to this. It took me 3 years to sell the first one. But in the end, I've sold quite a few Nik Huber guitars, I think, over my life now. But I knew there was something there. And then it was, well... We've got a birthday. Is it your birthday?
No,
it's not your birthday.
Somebody.
Someone there behind us.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right.
2002. Happy 22nd anniversary.
22nd anniversary. That's nice. Well, I wonder how long that's going to go on. So when we film in Italy, almost every time, we have this moment with church bells.
Yeah.
Because there's church bells everywhere. And we sit here waiting.
Yeah.
How long do the church bells take?
Yeah.
You know, interviews are interrupted.
So look up on Spotify how long the song goes.
Yeah.
It has a Roman candle on it. You can see it in the reflection of the window.
Yes. Yeah, but is it okay? We'll put it in the outtakes.
What? Yeah, exactly. Outtake.
I have outtakes for sure. Yeah.
Okay. That was good go.
Did we do it?
It's not all in your face now.
No, it doesn't need to, does it?
I don't know, maybe.
So anyways, happy birthday. So after that brief happy birthday break, yeah, it was a defining moment for me. You know, meeting you and your guitar, and then, well, so many guitar makers after that. That led me to go into Europe to find guitars. And at that first music messe, for me, not the first music messe, but the first messe for me, that's where I met Juha Kangas and Claudia Bugelli,
Rainer
Tausch, Harry Hoysel. Yeah, lots of people. You know, they were tech amps back then. Now they're like,
yeah,
you know, all sorts of different connections back then. And so that's what's led to, you remove that moment, and I'm not sure that there's a boutique guitar showcase. I'm not sure there's a Jamie Gale in the boutique guitar business at all. And so that's been an interesting bit for me.
And you've been the first person who bought a guitar from me in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the first guitar sold to North America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I played that guitar for years.
I know.
Yeah. And great instrument.
Microphone stand.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you know this, but most people think I probably have a big collection of guitars, but I don't have a collection of guitars. I own one electric guitar. It's a Nik Huber Dolphin 2. It's the guitar that you made for me, I don't know how long ago now, and I told you, just, you know me, make the guitar.
Yeah, but it's yellow. I know exactly which maple it was.
Yeah. And that's the that's the guitar. So I own one bass, I own one guitar, I own a baritone, I own a ukulele, an upright bass, a drum set. I'm a variety guy, but I don't have a collection of guitars. And so it's been a defining moment for me. And so, you know, when you think about defining moments, I also have a history of moving a lot. In my home life, I moved 20 times by the time I was 20 years old, which I think made me very comfortable with change and very comfortable with getting to know people and environments, feeling safe, even if the environment maybe wasn't predictable, right? And so what are, when you think about that, what's a defining moment for you? What do you think of the moment in your life that if you remove this, you're not the Nik Huber that eats sushi and goes to guitar shows?
So, I mean, talking about guitars or a guitar maker's career, if you can name it like this. So that in 1994, I met Paul Reed Smith. And I met him in Frankfurt in a venue where he played with his band, and I had a grunge band back in the days, and our front of house guy was on the front of house that night with Simon Phillips played, and Paul Reed Smith's band played, and I don't remember who else. And our front of house guy told me that Paul Reed Smith is playing, and that he said, "Hey, didn't you make a guitar last year?" I said, "Oh yes. Why don't you bring it and show it to Paul Reed Smith?" And so I said, "Good idea." Good. So I didn't have the thought myself. Long story short, I met Paul Reed Smith that night.
Okay.
And if I wouldn't have met Paul, I wouldn't be here as a guitar maker as I am now. 100% positive.
Why? Why wouldn't you have made the guitars?
I would have made guitars, but I'm not on... Maybe I wouldn't even have made guitars. I don't know. I wanted to become a guitar maker, but there was this American guy who told me I'm not good enough and I have to improve. And I thought I was pretty good already.
Yes.
And so that was a very magic moment to get comments from somebody who has already beyond achieved what I wanted to achieve. You know? I didn't have clear thoughts where my company is going. I never thought that I would have 10 team members at some point. I just wanted to make a living of making guitars. When everybody in Germany said, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah.
And so that was for me. This was the key moment. And before that, that was the guitar building course on Formentera, where I made my first guitar.
Yeah. Tell people about that, because that's a pretty remarkable. Eki? Is that
Eki?
Eki.
So no Formentera guitars, no Nik Huber guitars.
Yeah, but tell the people who are watching this about Formentera, because honestly, it sounds like a young guy's dream. What was Formentera guitars?
So here's the deal. My father stopped being a pilot with 55 years old.
Yes.
I turned 55 years old this year. Then I'm far from being able to retire. So, and my father booked a guitar building course in Formentera when he retired from flying.
Okay.
So my father made me guitars when I was a teenager for hobby, because he never liked the guitars. He thought for the 600 marks for a guitar, that's way too much, I can make it better. So my father would make everything on his own.
Yes.
So he went to this course, came back with a carved top guitar, kind of Paul Reed Smith style.
Yeah.
Beautiful maple top, set neck, angled neck, like that.
Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop is your premier fretted instrument custom case maker, and we invite you to create a musical instrument case unlike any other, one that's unique to you. Every Cedar Creek custom case is hand-built by highly skilled craftspeople using only select woods, Providence Forge hardware, and premium instrument-friendly materials. At Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop, we are dedicated to helping you design the case of your dreams. Find out more at cedarcreekcases.com.
Whoa. And then, I said, I need to make this guitar building course. I didn't have intentions to become a guitar maker. But
Sure.
I was so impressed, and I was in a cabinet making apprenticeship in this time because I wanted to study architecture. So then I went to my employer, who was I'm apprentice with. I said, boss, I need vacation. I need to make a guitar making course. And he said, no vacation days left because you've been on tour with your band. So big problem. What can we do? And he said, I get it. You will learn. You get unpaid vacations. So I went to Formentera, made the guitar. And so Formentera Guitars is a guitar building school on Formentera Island. Beautiful island next to Ibiza, Mediterranean. So I went there. So this was guitar making. That was music. That was beaches, sun. Like almost too good to be true. But it was Formentera Guitars. And I made my first guitar. And that was also the moment where I said, architecture? Of course, next to it, I wanted to be a musician. You know, I had this rock band, and of course, everyone thought we will make it at some point. There will be a record at some point.
Yes.
Record deal never showed up. So, 93, 94, two major for my guitar making, the most important moments, I'd say.
Yeah.
For getting started. So that was like runway and liftoff.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm still not flying.
Right. You still not flying?
So runway, Formentera Guitars, lift off, and
see.
then learn to fly. You know?
Because your dad wanted you to be a pilot. Yeah.
You know, I went to this exam for military back when I was young. You had to go to military in Germany.
Yes.
And I never thought I would have been really capable to become a pilot because I'm too much elsewhere. But I went to this test, and it turned out that I'm colorblind. And then I came back from this, it's called Musterung, whatever, the test for military. Came back home and said, well, Dad, I'm colorblind. Cannot even try to become a pilot. I said, well, let's check again. So he took me to the pilot's doctor.
Yes.
Checked my eyes. There was this machine. I looked in, 2 wheels, and you have to adjust to color. There was a circle with 2 halves, and you had to adjust the color. So, no, it's the same. So my father went into, let's go, forget it. So, done with the career of becoming a pilot, though I really think I would have not been able to become a pilot. There's too much to it.
Right.
So that's not me. I don't have these capacities.
Yes.
But anyways, that was also a reason to become a guitar maker.
Yeah. But you know that I think it's really interesting because your wife's father was also a pilot.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
both have been also jet pilots.
Yes. And your father did the Top Gun course, didn't he?
He was in America on this 2-year special training, yes.
Yes. Yeah. And airplanes are, it's a part of your casual conversation. You talk about planes in a way that, I don't know many people talk about planes the way you do. I remember sitting, having a dinner or a beer or something outside restaurant, and in the distance you hear something and you're like, you named the plane. Yeah. Without looking at it. I was like, come on. Really? And you look, it's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. And you were naming airplanes by the sound of their jets, I guess.
Yeah, that was the A380.
Was
it? It was fairly new back then.
Yeah.
But I mean, so of course your father is your hero, and so since there were these pictures of him in the cockpit of a jet, and he in front of a jet, and I started very early. Maybe this is also part of why I'm like to do delicate things. I was building airplanes like those kits with airbrush, and I even painted the cockpit of those little planes with a little. I cut all the
hired airbrush.
So I did this a lot. So all my life there was the fascination for airplanes.
Okay, and that's part of where the handwork comes in, also.
Yeah, I mean, I did hundreds of airplanes in my youth, and the handwork is because my father was, in his early years, a cabinet maker. My grandfather was a cabinet maker, and my grandfather's father was also a cabinet maker, so there might be something in the DNA already. about it. And my father always had a nice wood shop in the basement.
Yeah.
So he was always working on something. I could do my wooden planes or ships or tools or toys or whatever. He would help me. And when we go to my grandparents in Bavaria, there was also a wood shop. So when I needed a sword to go in the forest,
Yes.
I got a handmade sword.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I remember in my early days coming to visit you, your father coming to the workshop to do, I don't know what he was doing. He was doing small little moments. He came and helped out. He worked with you.
Yeah.
Did he make the tuner buttons or something for some of the customers?
He helped me
turn
do that. He did. He turned. We did wooden board knobs and stuff like that. He did talking tips. He turned on this turning machine.
Lathe. Yeah.
And he also like for the first I don't know how many hundred guitars, he made all the truss rods. So
Really?
he would do the threads on the steel rods, and he helped. And there was a very funny. I like it so much. So I wanted to buy wood. So very early years, and we went to this wood dealer, and we went into the door, and my father said, "Hello, Huber and Son Company." So it was him, Huber, and I'm the son. So it was me buying wood.
You were buying the wood, yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You have a lot of moments like that. The little turns with your family with the heritage bits. I remember you were on a talk show and they interviewed your son Nico.
Yeah.
And you had one of those father-son moments, except not your father. Now you're the father. What happened?
That was very funny. A thing I didn't know. So we had this TV interview.
Yeah.
And the camera team was there, and I had an interview outside. And Nico, he was 3 years old back then.
Yeah.
He was
that young?
inside, or maybe not even 3. And
Yeah.
we had this little electric guitar, which my father actually built. And I always would tune it open E. That my son always has to put a finger on the fretboard and it sounded like it always sounded like something. It was and then the guy said on the camera, "So do you know what you want to become when you're big?" I said, "Oh yes." And he's like, go on the string, said, "Okay, tell me what." "A drummer."
Yeah.
And that was so funny, and that was then like as a fun movie, like a fun clip on the late night show in Germany. It was very funny because I came back with my family from a US trip.
Yeah.
And we were tired going to bed, and then the phone rang and said, "Nico was on television on the late night show." So that took it like as a fun little clip. Yeah.
That's great.
And he became a drummer. And a guitarist. And a singer.
And a singer.
Yeah.
And
he had his magic moments too.
And he got the record deal that never came to you.
Yeah, and he deserved it. I didn't.
No, but I mean, that's great. You know,
No, it's amazing, Ben.
As a father, that's got to be very gratifying.
Yeah. And it's very impressive to see these young people putting so much effort, which I have never done, into my music, what they do. It's well deserved. So record deal, touring, you know, looking back, and if I visit concerts or artists who play my guitars, I'm quite okay not to be a musician, because it's tough work. But they are in the early 20s, so they go. Yeah. Munich, Hamburg, back and forth, little van, squeezing together, and it's they got there young.
Yes. That's great. What's the name of his band again?
Bird's View.
Bird's
View. They're just about to. They released their new single yesterday, and the new record is coming out in summer.
Yeah.
The second record. Yeah. And they're opened up for Skid Row, for Winery Dogs, for Max Cavalera's Winery Dogs, and other. Yeah. So they're playing decent shows.
That's great. Yeah. Family has been a. I don't know if people realize the tie-ins to your family. It's all over your company, from possibly your dolphin inlays through to the names of a number of your guitars. Or
dolphin inlays is because of my wife's passion for dolphins and her tattoo of a dolphin.
Yeah.
And when I needed a logo, and some dude had birds, so
yes.
I had to have an inlay too. So there's a dolphin heads. Oh, that works.
That works.
Like,
yeah.
And then that it evolves into more like mammals and stuff like that was later.
Yeah. And then you have a model named after her family name.
Yeah. So when we released together the Riedbergen on the Summer NAMM show in
a while ago, we were younger.
Yes. So my father-in-law had 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, well, nobody's carrying on with the name from my part of
Yes.
family." So, well, now I always had this. And then I had in mind when I studied Benedetto's work and I saw the videos of Benedetto making archstop guitars. But if I do archstop guitars at some point, I call the company Riedbergen. Then I found it very distractive when I have 2 companies, or found another company when one is not working yet.
Yes.
So this is why I just named the model after the maiden name of Ingrid, my wife.
Yeah.
Riedbergen. So here we go, and we have done many Riedbergens so far.
Yeah.
Many. And we released it on the Summer NAMM show. That is maybe 2005, 6, something like that.
It's got to be a decade ago. Oh, no, that's 2. Is that 2? Oh, shit. Yeah, 2 decades ago.
Or maybe it's something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, I remember you releasing that guitar and putting it into players' hands and saying, what can I do to improve it? And the response over and over again was, don't change a thing.
I had the conversation today about the shape. And when I come up with the shape, I said, well, it's very wide. Maybe I have to tweak it. But I brought it to NAMM, and we got orders already. Yeah. So that didn't change since then.
You lived with it for a while. If I recall, there was a picture on your dining room wall. Like it was by your dinner table. Wasn't this blown up and you like kind of lived with it as you
looked at it,
ate your breakfast?
This is also something I learned from Paul. Like if you want to come up with a body shape, put the drawing on the wall and look at it all the time. Mm-hmm. And then you see here a little bit, there a little bit. And I thought the Riedbergen wasn't ready, but I had to go to NAMM.
Yeah.
So we did it, and I was kind of expecting that I coming home from NAMM and tweak the guitar.
Yeah.
But then a few guys said leave it like it is, and so. And I tend to be lazy in some way, so I said, if people like it, let's leave it.
Let's leave it. I think one of those guys was Adam Miller, wasn't it?
It was Adam. Was Adam already? And Kevin.
Yes, Kevin, who played, what's his last name? Played with Stevie Wonder.
Played with Stevie Wonder.
He was a very smooth, wonderful player. Andy Reese played it also.
Andy Reese,
And but Adam, it's interesting because Adam has a signature model with you at this point, which is a Riedbergen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
also close friends since then.
Yeah. He's a wonderful guy.
One of the greatest players and one of the greatest human beings out there.
Yes.
Adam Miller.
.com. No, he's lovely. So that's great. And then you have another model named after your son, your second son.
Yeah. And we came up with this offset idea and we had this conversation earlier today that we go to cycles and taste changes, and I had when I was playing as a musician or I wanted to become a musician, I had my Strat time with the Vox 8030. I had a Stevie Ray Vaughan time. And I started to like offset guitars, and Clemens got this beautiful Jazzmaster from Fender in this beautiful, I think it was charcoal frost. I said, I like it. And I like the look and the trim, and so, but I'm not going there to make a new body shape, though Clemens was very pro to make a new body shape. Then again said, oh no, new body shape, new tooling, new jigs, no.
Right.
But okay, well, how maybe we can transform this to a dolphin shape. So we did that, and then when we came to the name, also, I think Clemens also threw in the middle, why don't we just name it Pete?
Yeah.
So how funny that a father doesn't have the idea at first. So I, of course, loved the idea.
all right,
But it
yeah.
was a discussion. And Clemens was always good with names. So anyway, so yeah, we have a Pete model,
Yeah.
my youngest son.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe there will be a new model called Nico. I don't know.
Maybe.
The latest is the Kreuzler 3.
The Kreuzler 3.
Yeah. How creative is that?
It's a good name.
The Kreuzler name is good, but going from 2 to 3 is not so creative. But it tells what it says what it is.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. So that's great. What is it you're doing when you're not making guitars?
So I still play in a band, and actually we're just rehearsing on our 90s, back in the day, grunge band. We do a revival.
Okay.
So this is, and you know, I always rehearse to have gigs and concert, but this is now this little revival with my band is, we have so much fun with just being together and rehearse, like old friends. So how you say that in English? The way is the goal. So I'm enjoying the rehearsals so much. I don't care so much about the concert we will play.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Yes,
we say.
So
yeah.
so it's like the flow is already in the rehearsals, and we love it. We love to hang out, and we have been friends since the 90s.
Yeah.
But this is this funny thing. So I do this. So we rehearse once a week right now with this band. I still have this party rock band, which we get out to play like 2 times a month. Sometimes we play in hotel resorts, which is very rewarding for my wife as well. And so this is what I do. I like aquariums.
Yeah.
So actually, I am about to get my first saltwater aquarium. I went to Egypt in February.
Wait a second. Your first salt.
All
You've had salt water.
All you saw was fresh water.
Oh, they were African.
Yeah, African, Rift Lake,
Lake Malawi kind of.
Lake Tanganyika.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
So I went with Ingrid to Egypt and we went snorkeling.
Yes.
Also one moment in my life, this snorkel trip. But we went snorkeling in a how to pronounce for me in English? Anemone fishes, Nemos,
Yeah, anemone.
anemone.
Yeah.
So we saw them.
Oh no, they're sorry, the things.
Yeah, and the
Or
fishes.
the fish. So it's a clownfish. Nemo was a
Clownfish.
clownfish, and that's an anemone.
So we saw both.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I like being in harmony.
Yeah.
And it was, and you know those fishes can live in. They breed them in aquariums, so you don't have to get wild caught fish. They're beautiful. They're not. It's fine in aquarium. I said, it's so beautiful. So I want a saltwater aquarium.
Yeah.
And later on that snorkeling trip, I got to spend 45 minutes with a wild dolphin.
Yes.
That was one of the most magic moments in my entire life.
45 minutes.
Dolphin came back, swimming circles. I could touch him. He came approach like literally this close. Like I have goosebumps right now.
Wow.
So it was going back and forth, and I have beautiful pictures of it. So I want to
Posted some video on Facebook.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This
pictures,
is the
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, it was magic. So hobby is traveling.
Yeah.
Ingrid and me, we love to travel. So we've been to quite a few places. And I love my dog, my cat, you know.
Yes.
Well, cat does what she wants, but yeah,
As it goes.
yeah.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And my favorite hobby is making guitars.
Yeah.
So you find me very often Sunday afternoons in my shop. Nobody there, playing around. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
If Ingrid has something else to do,
Yes.
the kids are out of the house, so nobody misses me at home. I take Cracker, or Ingrid takes Cracker, and then I go to the shop and play and do guitars. Nobody ordered, or I have this piece of wood where I have no idea will it go, has a knot here or color defect there. Then these are the things I do at Sundays. Love it.
That's great.
Or just gluing up wood or stack them up. Or what I love is cutting big wooden boards into guitar blanks and stack them up. That's the most delicatable work or task, but I love it. that's kind of meditation for me.
Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop is your premier fretted instrument custom case maker, and we invite you to create a musical instrument case unlike any other, one that's unique to you. Every Cedar Creek custom case is hand-built by highly skilled craftspeople using only select woods, Providence Forge hardware, and premium instrument-friendly materials. At Cedar Creek Custom Case Shop, we are dedicated to helping you design the case of your dreams. Find out more at cedarcreekcases.com.
Love it.
And you do that in your own shop now?
The smaller pieces in my own shop, but you know the place across the street.
You still use that place?
Yeah, I have still a lot of space there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot fit the wood we have in my own shop.
Right.
And it's not getting less. Well, that's another hobby.
Collecting wood?
Holding on to wood.
Have you been connecting these things? Are you traveling to find wood?
Yeah. Of course, I've been several times to California to get quilted maple or redwood. I visited Richard Hoover, went with him to the redwood forest. There is a very tempting trip because there is a very, how do you say that? On the Fiji Islands, they grow Swietenia macrophylla, mahogany.
Okay.
The Fiji mahogany is used with Taylor, and many people use it.
Okay.
And they really harvest it. It's really eco-friendly.
Yeah.
And I think that's worth the trip
Yeah.
to see mahogany on the Fiji Islands.
Yes, yes.
So that's tempting. And I'm about to go to Spain for mahogany and rosewood. But this is imported then.
Yeah.
And
With insert?
we had this nice occasion with my friends, and we did this wine barrel project in Portugal, where Adriano scouted these old wine barrels. So that I went several times to Portugal because of that, which was also very nice.
Yes. Yes.
Very nice project, very nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, good wine.
A great wine. I had some of that Calcavelos wine 2 or 3 weeks ago when I visited Michael and Tanya,
Yeah.
Michael Spaltz
Yeah.
and Adriano, but
Yeah.
Adriano didn't share any of that wine with me. If he had any more, I drank
limited.
Michael's.
Yeah, I have a few bottles at home, so come visit.
We're going to be pretty close next week.
Calcavelos is there.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I didn't have the wherewithal to ask you that you wanted to talk about, or something you want people to know about right now?
I thought it was a very nice story that we got our blue whale back from Canadian Customs after 9 years.
Yeah.
That was a good moment.
Yes.
So, sorry, should I tell this?
You know what? Actually, we should do that because I chose this restaurant.
Because of
Because
Montreal.
of the connection to this. So let's wind this back. So you did well, you tell the story. So
So many years back, Montreal Guitar Show. I had a few guitars on my table, and then a cool man stood in front of my table.
Yeah.
He said, "Why only orcas or dolphins?" So I don't understand the question.
yes.
So why no whales? I mean, why no blue whales? So I said, "Oh, good point. Nobody asked me yet." So we got to talk, and it happened that this was Richard Sears, and he is a blue whale, a whale scientist. He's a very well-respected whale scientist,
Yes.
and he has a non-profit organization in Mingan Island in Canada called the Mingan Island Cetacean Study,
Yes.
and he specializes on blue whales. He's one of the world specialists on blue whales,
Yeah.
and conversation was so great that we made a limited guitar run with the blue whale inlay. And so the idea was to give shares to Richard and his foundation.
Yeah.
And he had one event, and we donated an entire guitar to this event to be auctioned. And so the story was this guitar had Brazilian rosewood as neckwood, which was cut in the 50s, so very old certified wood. But there was an import permit missing from the Canadian side, which we had no idea about. Also, the German authorities who issued me the CITES didn't know that. And so the Canadians confiscated the guitar. And they didn't give it back for 9 years.
9 years.
And Richard could free it up now, like 2 months ago. And I had a very, very, very good friend and customer in the Middle East who donated the amount of the guitar to Richard, and I was very lucky to deliver him the guitar like 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago. That 9 years is one thing, but wait a second. The Montreal Guitar Show ended in 2012?
That was after we got to meet Richard in Montreal Guitar Show. Then we started the project, and then this guitar donation happened afterwards.
But didn't we do a release of the Blue Whale guitar in Montreal?
We did. That was another guitar.
But that started the Blue Whale project.
That started the Blue Whale project, yeah.
It did start back then. And that was...
But it took me a long time to make these guitars because they're pretty intense inlay work, which took a while. And
he was very specific about it.
Oh, yeah.
You would make drawings, and Richard would look at it.
Oh, no, looks like a finback whale. Change it. So, okay, send me pictures. Then he would send me pictures from his trips and blue whale here and a little bit there. So it was very difficult for me to understand this animal. And then it happened that he had a Canadian artist. I think his name was Danielle. I don't remember the last time. He sent a beautiful drawing of a blue whale. I could take this on. Then I did draw any splotch, like this blue whale skin has patterns. And that was very delicate to draw by hand. But then we did inlays from it, so we have to put it into the machine to cut all these. I think the inlay contained more than 100 pieces. So, yeah, Richard was very specific to make it look like a blue whale.
An actual blue whale.
And so as somebody who just saw blue whale in a kid's book, that's the biggest animal. And all the pictures are wrong as they get in those books. And now you see, like every day I see beautiful whale videos on Instagram from blue whales. But when we started this project, so much content wasn't out there.
It didn't exist,
So that was a good journey. And I'm very tempted to do something more with whales as well.
Okay.
I actually have a customer from Greece who asked me about something, and I asked him, look at the finback whale. It's a beautiful animal, looks like a blue whale, but for me it's way less work because it doesn't have splotch. It's gray and has a white jaw. That's very much it's easier.
Much easier to do. That's great. So there's a couple of things here. One, these are the types of moments that Life with Strings Attached is about. It's about why should we know the world's foremost blue whale specialists? You're not a scientist, you're not a marine biologist, you're a guitar guy. But the guitar, for some reason, provides me opportunities to meet people who I can't think of any other reason without know them. And the same thing I know has happened for you, and I think Richard is one of those moments.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's fascinating to me is there's two things I'm thinking of. One is that I came to Montreux 1 year ago for this same guitar show, and I stumbled upon a new restaurant that opened up called Lilo. It opened up that night. We didn't know it was the opening night. And we asked for a table. We got a table. It was happening. Presumably they invited all their friends and family to the opening, I guess, right? And it was great. We enjoyed it. We went back every day because it was right on the water. It was beautiful. The weather was great that week. And 3 nights in a row we had the conversation with one of the owners, because it's owned by some siblings. There's a group of them. They own a few different restaurants and hotels. I think, if I remember correctly, they also have a vanilla plantation or something down in Madagascar. There's something happening down there also. So they're doing all sorts of interesting things. And my wife noticed that he had
whale fin,
a little whale fin or something on a necklace. And she said, "What's that?" And he goes, "Well, actually, I'm actually trained marine biologist." I said, "Oh, I know marine biologists, because we went to Richard's house together and had dinner there. And his wife made a wonderful traditional French Canadian rabbit, and dude, it was great. And he was like, "Richard Sears is my hero." He wrote his doctoral thesis based on Richard's work. And he had brought Richard in for a big marine biologist symposium or something of the sort like that. And so we began to talk about this. And so let's fast forward a year later. You and I are talking about where we can meet up and do this interview. And our timing wasn't working out in Germany. And you said, hey, you're going to be in Montreux. I said, yeah, I'm going to be in Montreux. And then, we'll do it where this marine biologist that's connected to Richard are. And then they didn't have this restaurant last year. They opened it up. They didn't have a sushi restaurant. But this is the new sushi restaurant that is connected there. And that is why we're here. It's that connection with those things. And so that's it. And then the other thing I want to say about that is that I don't have many things I wish I had done in life, because I do a lot of what I want to do, right? But Richard asked me if I wanted to come out on a boat and photograph the blue whales. And this is whenever someone asks me if I have any regrets, I'm like, yes, I should have gone on that damn boat and photographed blue whales.
I did it.
I know you did it. I know you did it.
And this was also one of the moments, I would say, in life that, I mean, to talk about blue whales is one thing, but literally go with a marine scientist on a inflatable and go in the middle of the Atlantic where you don't see shores anymore on the Azores. And that wasn't, and Richard said, this is not going to be whale watching. We're going on a trip. I said, no problem. Then, and the other year I took Ingrid and we went on a boat and we got to spend like half an hour with a female blue whale. She was fluking, but pretty close to the shores of the Azores.
Yeah.
Wow. And then Richard actually went to another boat and did the satellite tagging.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. So they went next to the whale, waited till the whale was fluking, the tail comes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that actually, when the whale was going down, the fluke hit the boat, and it could have gone wrong.
Yes. Wow.
So that was also a moment. My dolphin this February, which I will revisit very soon.
Yes. Yes.
And this blue whale thing, and and again, you say guitar and guitar related. When I gave this blue whale to my friend in Kuwait, and I told Richard about it. Then Richard said, "Oh, do you know there's a certain time in the year where all the whale sharks are offshore of Kuwait, and we should make something." So who knows if we get together again? You know?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing the story. This restaurant is starting to turn up.
Yeah, I see that.
We're getting busy here. I think that we should probably wrap this one up for today.
And we do it next time?
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
I would be leading a different life today without you.
Same here.
And so, I can say my life is better because of you, and I really appreciate it. And
I give this 100% back.
I appreciate you taking the time today.
And you got my first guitar in North America.
Yes.
There was somebody who wanted to buy a guitar from me.
Yes. That's great. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, till next time.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can find more episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts, and a special thanks to those who support us on Patreon. It's your support that enables us to do this work.